Hello YouTube, Aquarium Basics. I'd like to get a tripod, but I just want to get this rolling, so it's going to be a little shaky. I'm looking at this tank here of mine, and I'm realizing, well, about a year or two ago, I was a total beginner at this. I had a tank as a child, and, a lot of fish died. I really didn't know what was going on. Inevitably, it just ended up in the back of the closet. And as I got into this again a few years ago, I hit all kinds of roadblocks. I mean, it was just unbelievable, and sadly, I've killed a lot of fish even doing this. And I've finally come to a point where I am not killing any fish, and I feel as if what I have to show you here is at least on par to some of the higher levels of aquariums, but I still want to keep this a basics course or video and not necessarily me boasting about how great my aquarium is. So anyway, there's a lot here, and what I wanted to start with is tank size. So this is a short video on tank size. I started with a little gallon aquarium, and I thought, well, it'd be cute, to have a guppy. And I went for the glowfish, just like the picture said and stuff, and it was just, I think, well, first of all, my own problem with reverse osmosis. I wasn't really aware of water parameters and just literally killed the fish within minutes of putting them in there. But even over the course of about a month, I was killing the fish more and more and more and more. And noticed the fish were bashing their heads in against the actual glass. They were much more territorial than they needed to be. And so I quickly realized that this little 1 gallon was not a healthy thing. And on top of that, the filter was a total joke. And so it's sad because, obviously grandma buys the kid aquarium, and it ends up being that, it's not something that's really going to work out. It's just a kind of a very quick toy. You'd be better off with just a fish bowl or something, I think. But anyway, the transition from there went to a 6.5 gallon. Got it at Walmart. It was a little bit nicer, and it did have a little bit better quality filter, but it also had its own problems. The filter I could not find cartridges for at all, and it was like a vinyl, which I don't know. I don't think vinyl is necessarily that bad, but it too just had unbelievable issues of being a little too small, and I always wanted to stock it a little more than what I should, and everybody's gonna do that. Everyone wants 3 fish instead of 2, and everyone wants to go for that angelfish instead of having the guppy or whatever, and so yeah, the 6.5, same deal, water parameters, just absolutely out of control. It's almost impossible to really, keep it steady or stable, and, nitrates could build up at any time, and who's got the money for all those nitrate tests? I mean, that's something I can say is that I have actually never bought a nitrate test, and I think that, it's a little impractical for most people to think that they can spend, $50 on the whole test parameter kit because, guess what? The $50 aquarium just broke you, and that's all grandma's going to help you with. And, so to me, there's got to be a simpler way that someone can really, be aware of what's going on. And there are some general rules, but anyway, so back to tank size, that turned into me finally getting a 20 gallon, I think for Christmas or something, or whatever. I ended up, okay, I'm going to get the 20 gal, and as a child, I actually had a 20 gal. I think it started leaking on me, and I think that's why I got rid of it, and anyway, just probably my life changed as a kid to where I wasn't really as interested in it all of a sudden, but the 20 gal is probably, I want to say, the very minimum for aquarium usage. I mean, honestly, I want to say that if you are even thinking about having an aquarium, I wouldn't go any less than a 20-gallon aquarium. And even then, that swimming space for those fish is shy. And those fish are essentially, walking in circles, basically. They're just spinning around. They go to one side, they go to the other. They go one side and the other. And so, that 20-gallon is, in my opinion, the minimum to really keep a healthy fish tank. And you get to keep about 3 or 4 fish, maybe a few more. But, what I really want to say is that I never stopped killing fish until I got the 30. And so that, that's what this video is about tank size. And I'm here to tell you, get the 30. I mean, it's not too big. I have a feeling I was looking at the 55 and even the 40 wide, and they're a little too big for some people. I mean, not everybody wants a monster aquarium in the living room. Not everyone wants to put their arm 3 feet deep into something every day because something happened. I mean, and what I've found is I think I've made an incredibly good choice with this. It's not very wide. It's a more I guess thin or whatever. It's a 30-gallon wide is what they call it. And I'm not saying this is the only tank to get, but I think personally for the fish, this is one that they want. I mean, they like to swim, and they like to, one wants to be over there in his territory, and the other wants to be in its territory, and, so basically the deal is that they're going to really need some space, and, why keep a pet if you're going to be basically abusing it? I mean, the whole point is to have an enjoyable experience, and I can say for the first time, these fish really kind of like me, I mean, they don't seem like they're upset. They listen to me play guitar. I mean, I don't know, it's just funny because all of a sudden I feel like as if I'm actually providing them a nice home versus, taking them from the pet store and actually maybe putting them in a worse place than the pet store. So, I mean, if they're dying in a couple months, so yes, I haven't killed I guess I did have one neon tetra die because my heater was up too much about a month ago. But honestly, besides that, I haven't killed a fish in well over 6 months. And we're talking neon tetras, And so I really recommend this 30 wide. And I've got a whole bunch of other stuff to talk about because I have had, obviously the pet store nightmare. There's been a lot of good information from the pet store. But you know what? There's also been a lot of bad information, and I think that they don't cater to beginners at all, and a lot of the companies are making chemicals that are to stay on the length of shelf life versus the really true ability for them to cure diseases. I have discovered all kinds of natural remedies for diseases. I'm going to be doing a couple of videos about no chemicals in the tank. You buy all those little chemicals and your fish are dying. I mean, they're getting diseases. It ain't working. So, there's a lot in there. But what this video is about is simply tank size. I think, if all you had the space for was a 20-gallon aquarium, you could do it. And, the fish would be able to be healthy and live as long as you didn't put too many in there. I recommend the 30. I just want to say that I think that is the minimum that I would recommend for an aquarium. Honest to God, this was $30. I got a deal. It was $1 a gallon on sale, and I mean, this is a $30 tank, and mind you, there's a little bit of setup and things like that. I don't want to get into the lights or the filters I'm running because I also have some great alternative methods for filters. So, what I call this is basic aquariums because I don't want to say beginner, I don't want to say advanced, but I really think that from what I've seen on YouTube, even quite a few of the more advanced people might really enjoy some of the things I have to say, just simply from me stepping up from the beginning. So, I want to keep this video under 10 minutes, so I got a minute left to go, I guess, and so yeah, just the 30-gallon. It's a good size. It's a good size for kind of everybody. It's big enough for the guy that wants to really make it something like a hobby or worthwhile, but yet it's also small enough for, just something in the living room. It's not taking up too much space. It's, you can get your hands down in it easy, and I think I'm really impressed. I'm really glad that I did not get the 40 wide. It came with much bigger plastic bars on top to where you're actually losing some of the visuals of it. And I'm just real glad that I didn't get, the 55 either because, I might be moving in a little while and just something like that. If I really own my own house or, 5 years into it or something, I decide I really want something like that. And another thing is it makes sense to get the 30 or bigger or whatever, because if you get the littler one, you're going to move up. I mean, absolutely, you're into it. So I'm rolling into 10 minutes. I'm going to let you go. This is Basic Aquariums. Thank you very much.